surround everyone is crying. All the light was fading like the light's back now.
Hello, welcome to my channel for Evolved Humans. I am Ms. Day. This is a collective reading. This is like, it felt really beautiful. Like this feels really beautiful right away. It's like there is this, whoever this reading is for, it's almost like I heard this Reba McIntyre song when I was going to start. And I feel like the words are what matters really, where she's got a heart like a sad song. That's what it was. I think it's she. I don't know if it's he or she. I don't care. It's a heart like a sad song. And it's almost like, I also pictured like this, it felt almost like there was, you know, the story of King Arthur, where it's like he went through kind of being an underscore. I don't know if that's the right word, but I hope so. So it's like, anyway, whoever this reading is for, it's almost like it feels like there was such a bright light in you in a very beautiful way. Like, you don't have to be a female or male for this, but it feels like there's a very huge feminine that you have balanced out with your own life path. And I feel like it's kind of a big deal because it feels like you've kind of, okay, so I think in youth or childhood, it's almost like you had no inspiration, which sounds kind of mean, but it's like you didn't have inspiration around you for some reason. I don't know if things just weren't like encouraged or what. And I don't think it was even ill intention for some of you, where it's like, I think people just weren't thinking about certain things like being, you know, encouraged. But anyway, it's almost like there was this secret so a huge light, and it's also, it feels like you were really seeking answers, like you had a huge curiosity. I know everybody's got curiosity when they're younger, but I feel like it was deeper than that with you. It's like you had a really deep connection. Okay, so I think that there was a masculine in your life that actually was a really positive. I don't know who this was. This could either be, this is like not a childhood thing, I don't think. But it feels like there was a masculine sort of that maybe you encountered as at a job, maybe a teacher, maybe literally like a family member or even a grandparent. I feel like some of you, where it's like there was someone who like you bonded with in that deeper curiosity for the whole world around you. Like it's almost like you had a broader view, and like when you locked eyes with whoever these like role models were, it's even if it wasn't a male, it feels like the masculine was strong where you connected with each other. And it also, it's like they kind of allowed you, it's almost like that gave you a sort of like stride going forward, where you had a new idea of like, this could even be someone you didn't know. I feel like for some of you, it's even authors, like passed on writers that you're like, or current ones where that's what got you through, or that's what gives you like sort of like a connection into the world. That's pretty cool. This feels very intense and like someone who's like always seeking to know more. Okay, so then I think that awakened something in you where you were like, okay, there is a place for me to move and use this. It's almost like you got excited about it instead of just thinking you were different. And I think that part of what I felt right when I was starting to was almost like there's what it feels like, they're telling you to do is like allow yourself to expect that type of bond in like a feminine way too, where it's almost, I don't know what this is. It feels very much like they're like, expect and ask for signs like to come in and come through. Like ask for certain signs to come through. This is crazy. This is coming right now. I keep seeing mirroring numbers. This is something that I've mentioned in some personal readings before, but like I knew for you too, because it just has been nonstop. It's like mirroring numbers, like 1221, 1331, things like that. Like if you're seeing those things, I don't know what the internet tells you about them. Like I look up different things whenever I'm seeing different numbers because there are so many different theories out there. But for the mirroring ones, for me, when I put it into a reading, it feels like this is a manifesting moment. Like if you're seeing mirroring numbers, I feel like that's a sign that you have more control than you realize you do. And not only that you have more control, but it's almost like you have come to where you can see things clearly, even from your own past. On that, okay. So whatever this is, like, I feel like they're saying to ask for signs to come in and like almost like let yourself seek them out with that same childlike curiosity that you had before. Because whatever it is, it's like it gave you like a founding stride, like a foundational stride where you were like, oh yeah, I can do this. And I think that, but there's almost like this feeling where you got so into the masculine motion that they're saying like ease up a little bit and let yourself enjoy other types of signs, like almost funny ones. That's what I keep wanting to say, is that there are ways that they're going to give you things in a silly way, and that's also going to help you move you. Like that's going to wake you up a little bit in there too, where you can kind of enjoy what's coming at you instead of just pulling away from what you've been through and where you've been. And stepping into the next like strategic move or footstep. It feels so strategic. So I think some of you are going through currently, I think you may have already, I think you asked for some signs and I think it has flooded you. Like I think some of you have gotten like here come all the signs. And I think that's really, really, it feels like literal awakening. It feels like whoever you are, this childlike curiosity and this feeling of being totally different from others around you, I think that you are almost like this sculpted version of yourself where it's like it feels like in music when you, like in choir class, like if I would get to the end, if we would get to the end of a song and the teacher would be like, okay, but at that point, at that spot, I don't hear the T sound, so it sounds like this, which is, silly or whatever. And it's like that teeny tiny mention is tweaked, and that makes the whole thing better. And it's like, this feels like when you look back, going forward, I feel like you're going to have such a solid, it feels like a blossoming. This feels like a blossoming period because you're willing, and also because you carry that same willingness to like give to others whatever it was that inspired you. I think you are an inspiration going forward, and I think that's why you've like gotten hit with so much, and I think this is why you've been awakened, because I think that just like music, like I think that you're willing to see it all, and I think it doesn't stop you when you see your own mistakes. And I feel like that's what you need to know, is like the whole goal is to just keep fixing the mistakes. And I feel like whoever you are, you have a really strong feminine and masculine, and I feel like this is a huge balancing out of the feminine with you, and I feel like you can have laughs in it. Like some of you, I think that you can have laughs, and it almost feels like you got into so many intense moments where the laughs are going to be like a breath of fresh air too, that I don't think you've gotten fully hit with a lot, even though like a lot has come at you. So I think that what they're telling you too, okay, so going forward, whoever this is for, this is like you just needed to see and learn from other people, like what type of intensity can exist and find its own way to navigate throughout like today's world. And I feel like when you encountered that did exist, it changed something in you. And I think that was for a reason. This is crazy. It makes me think of way back when I first learned that I should do yoga. It was not because I cared at all about doing yoga. I didn't want to do yoga. I had no interest. I thought that's really slow. I don't do slow. And but I was really into self-connection and meditation because I had started talking to past loved ones, or experiencing them, whatever. So there was this one moment where on Netflix a special of Yogananda came on, and it was like, it started, it was weird. I think I just like felt like it was a trance moment, and I felt sucked into this special about what the actual intention was. And that I then was like online instantly, like looking for how to get certified to do yoga. Okay, so I feel like this is one of those things where you've had moments like that. And I think some of you may even be about to experience some moments where you're like actually enacting things that you've seen others do. Not in the same way, not in the same behavior, in the same service, but I feel like you realize that there's a reason for your full flow, and it is huge feminine, huge masculine, and accountability. I think that whoever this reading is for, I think that you literally admire integrity in a person. I think that's something that you have looked up to, and maybe even just their ability to like have class, which is interesting because this feels like such a natural, like I feel like you're such a nature creature, but you've navigated through a whole bunch of like material and society type stuff. And then I feel like you still end up in nature, and that's where you feel like your true self. It's always in nature, whether it's the day, the night, whether you're like, it's clear skies, whether you're like under trees. And I think that you can look back in a really natural way. Instead of getting sucked into the past, I think that you can look at it and you can kind of like calculate, okay, what do I think I should work on? And that feels like, this is crazy, because in the beginning, I almost felt like someone who felt like an accomplice, or like, accomplice? It's like, I literally just kept thinking like you felt like the understudy to someone else all the time, forever, always. And it's like, finally, I feel like you've actually explored so many different avenues of yourself that you realize you have your own place. It's really positive. And it's also because of your own ability to own your mistakes. I think you're a quick learner. And I don't mean like you know something as soon as you do it once. Because I don't care how many times it takes to like observe something before you can experience it and know it. But I think that when you do know something, you act on it. That's what I mean. I think that when you do know something, your vehicle is like on it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave this one at that. This feels so strongly awakened in a beautiful way. It's beautiful. And I do think that it's like a blending of the masculine and feminine. And it's like the feminine is flowing through you, and the masculine is like what guides you. It's the light that guides you. It's crazy cool. So if you're looking for confirmation with that, I feel like this is so, you're not crazy and you are awakened. It is a totally new like world when that happens. Oh, I thought about before this, I was going to say it because I just figure I'm obsessed with this movie a little bit too much. But the new Little Mermaid movie, obviously the Little Mermaid movie, whatever it is, the song where it's a whole new world. Oh my gosh, it's not a whole new world from the Little Mermaid. It's from Aladdin, isn't it? See? I was wrong on what movie it was. I was hearing that song and literally pinned it to the wrong movie because I like the Little Mermaid movies so much. Okay, so anyway, it's A Whole New World. That's what was in my head from Aladdin. And this is so crazy because as they're singing that, it's nighttime. They're like flying across the night sky looking at the stars, I think. Don't trust me on that now. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to end it at that. I hope this was helpful for someone. I really, really like this. This felt so beautiful, like such a beautiful blending. Okay, so let me know if this resonates. Very exciting. And subscribe to the channel if you feel like any of the readings resonate. And whenever it comes into your view and you feel like pulled to click on it, let yourself take it. Doesn't even matter when. Even if it's only like one piece of it, because I feel like it's like a wave. It kind of comes and goes, and I feel like it can kind of be a part of this, a part of you here, and then maybe not here, and then you again at the end. Crazy. Okay. So have a good rest of your night, and if you're interested in, like I said, more readings, allow for notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.